But first, the Morrison government's sports rort scandal. Last month I thought it was just a rort. Today Labor was saying they may have been unlawful as well, this whole thing. Now, I know the argument is, and I've heard it again today, both sides of politics misspend your money where they can. They steer it to electorates they want to win and so on and so on. But this sports rorts is so shameless, and to excuse it by saying, well, both sides do it, is to always be defending the rorting of your money. I think we've got to be better than this. Now, we're talking here about a program run before the election by Bridget McKenzie, who was then the sports minister, handing out $100 million to sports clubs. Now, McKenzie spent the vast majority of that cash on clubs in electorates held by the government or they were marginal seats that the government was desperate to win. And to do that, she and her staff listed applications on a spreadsheet with colour coding, so they could tell which ones came from government seats, which from Labor and which from marginals and so on. And one more thing that McKenzie did was to scrap applications from clubs that Sport Australia thought were the best ones, even if she could think of more useful ones to fund, politically speaking, even if their applications had been ruled ineligible. So, by the third round of these grants, there were 3 rounds, just before the do-or-die election last May, Sport Australia found that 3/4 of its recommendations to McKenzie were just being chucked in the bin. So, yes, the scheme did look like a rort, I've said so before, and McKenzie has lost her job. But Labor today was suggesting that that third round of grants was also unlawful, and the government was covering up. You see, the government called last year's election on April 11 at 8:30 a.m. to be precise, and the rule is the convention, once it does that, it's no longer the government, it's just a caretaker government. It can't keep making decisions, or at least not major decisions. Yet 16 minutes after it became a caretaker government, at 8:46 a.m, guess what? Sport Australia says it got a message from the Sports Minister, McKenzie, go ahead and fund these clubs in that third round.
So the Sports Australia funding for round 3 was based off what you received on the 11th of April from the Minister.
That's correct.
Rightio. Well, I think there's some more questions to work through there because I don't know how all that adds up.
Well, Labor today went on the attack, starting with this fact. Why, just the day before the election was called, did McKenzie send Morrison, why did the Sports Minister send the Prime Minister, a list of the projects she was going to approve with that colour-coded spreadsheet showing which electorates they were in?
Why then, on the day before he called the election, did the Prime Minister obtain a colour-coded spreadsheet from Senator McKenzie with projects she intended to approve, listed by party and electorate?
Sport Australia advised the committee this morning that they received a brief from Senator McKenzie dated 4 April 2019 approving the third round of the community sports infrastructure grants.
OK, note Morrison's response. Way to saying you're barking up the wrong tree. The Sports Minister had already decided a week before the election, April 4, to fund that third round. Nothing to see here, folks. It was before the election. Decision made, no rules broken. So that's what all the fuss is about. But Labor wanted to know, and here I think probably lost the plot a bit, on zero evidence for this smear, had the government fiddled the record, backdated the date of that decision?
How could the Minister's decision have been made on 4th April if Senator McKenzie sought the agreement of the Prime Minister in his office on the 10th of April? Can the Prime Minister guarantee that the document by Minister McKenzie was not backdated?
Now, I agree it's all a bit whiffy, but there's no proof that Morrison misled the parliament, no proof that the decision to fund all those sports clubs were made after the election and therefore possibly unlawful. And I have to add, the Auditor-General, in examining this rort, it was pretty scathing, but did say that McKenzie, the Sports Minister, did make the decision on that final round of funding the week before the election day. So, guys, we've got a rort, but so far, nothing more for now.